Hello there, folks. I hope the summer have been good to you so far. Here in Sweden, it have been an insanely warm July. I guess a little bit warmer than most of us are used to up here, but it has been a really great one still. What I've managed to find, I will say for a later date. This is not a Vinyl CD update. This is a response to a tradition that had been going on now for a few years in the vinyl community, a summer vinyl tag. This time created by Martian, the Martian vinyl. We have 15 questions that I'm going to respond to. As you know, I like vinyl tags, so I thought, why not? Even if it is not the most fun to sit here and film a summer vinyl tag. I would rather film that from the balcony, but one is not the weather for it. Two, I don't have the possibility right now, so, as you know. So, but still, it is a summer vinyl tag, and I wanted to do it. So let's start. Get through the questions. Number one, your most recent heater, which means the latest real awesome finding. It has been a little slow year when it comes to those top-notch finding so far. But I will count this one as it is an artist that I don't find that often, but that I really like, really becomes happy when I found albums with her. Zulema once was a member of the band Faith, Hope and Cherry. I hope I got it right. A soul artist that I found out about when I was watching an episode of the classic soul show Soul Train, where she performed, and I got really stung. Oh God, this was a really fantastic soul singer I never heard of. And I managed so far to get 3 albums by her. This is the 3rd one I got. An album called Miss Z, and as I will count her as a heater finding, because she's not that easy to find albums with here, and I paid $3 for this one, so I'm very, very happy to have found another album to my collection with Zulema. An album that will melt your face off. I picked this, maybe the best album ever. Susanna Hoff from Bangles and her solo debut, When You're a Boy. Of course, she's pretty enough to melt my face away, but in this case it is about the amazing pop pearls that she sings here with her fantastic voice, and those pop pearls and with her voice that makes my face melt. Definitely. So Susanna Hoff's When You're a Boy, fantastic album, maybe the best album ever. A cheap heat record. Another Heat Records best album finding, but that costed very low price. Zulema I found at the latest record fair, and so did I with this. Duke Ellington, Such Sweet Thunder. Duke Ellington and his orchestra. In this case, he has orchestrated and put music to William Shakespeare plays. So this is a really, really amazing, very interesting project to put jazz music to Shakespeare plays that we don't know all that much if there was what kind of music there was there, if there was any. So it is from Lady Macbeth and Othello and so on, Romeo and Juliet. So really interesting project that I really got fascinated by. So really, and I paid only $1 for this one. 2-piece swimsuit, which doesn't mean that I'm going to show a bathing suit picture. It means that I'm going to show a record with only 2 members of the band. I actually picked Depeche Mode. What? 2-man band? Yes, they are currently. This is the latest album, Memento Mori, that came out a couple of years ago, to 2023. And by the time making this, there were only 2 members of the band, Dave Gahan and Martin Gore. Since Alan Wilder no longer in the band since many years back, and Andy Fletcher passed away, rest in peace. They were only two members of the band when they created this, their latest album. A really great album. With Martin Gore's music and lyrics and Dave Gahan's voice, and really amazing sound. So really great and dark album when it comes to the lyrics. Summer Road Trip soundtrack, an album that I've put on if I go to the beach or if I go on a road trip. I picked this one. This I have considered also one of the best albums ever. It is in my box of favorite records that I've been showing numerous times before. I also consider this maybe one of the best summer albums ever. You can do whatever you want with it in the summer. You can relax to it, and you can go on a road trip on it, and fantastic to go on a road trip on it with it. Scritti Politti, Cupid and Psyche 85 from 1985, produced by Arif Mardin, and Scritti Politti, the Green Guard site, and his men, with a really amazing summer album with a fantastic sound, really light and very relaxing and very, in my opinion, summery sound. So I love this album to death. It's a fantastic album, Scritti Politti, Cupid and Psyche 85. Perfect for road trip. Your most recent car boot yard sale find, and I assume then that it is beyond those ordinary thrift stores that I go to normally. We're talking stuff that you buy from outside, thrift stores outside, flea markets. I haven't found any of them because many of them here are outside of the city, where I have hard time getting to with a bus. But I managed to go on one yard sale outside, a little bit outside of my city. And this will be a little quick peek of the next vinyl CD update. So I won't talk that much about it because you will get more information about the records in my next vinyl CD update. But a little quick peek of 3 78s that I managed to find, because those are then the most recent car boot and yard sales. 78 with Gene Krupa Sextet on Jazz at the Philharmonic, Paradise and Coronation Hop, Teddy Wilson on piano. We have Swedish band leader, jazz legend Arne Domnerus and his orchestra, and Si and Sugar Blues. And we have Art Shaw and his new music. Artie Shaw. Yes, it is Artie Shaw before he became really famous. So New Music was a project he had only 1 year, but we'll talk about this record more in my vinyl CD, next vinyl CD update. So a little quick peek for that. But these three 78s are the most recent car boot yard sale. Here Comes the Sun, a record with a sun on the cover. I picked Dreamtime with Stranglers. As you can see, the dancing in the sun, when the sun is about to go up, so you see the sun in the background. The Stranglers, this is the album with the fitting title, Always the Sun. So it's a really good album. Campfire albums, show an acoustic album. Asking a man with tons of jazz albums to show an acoustic album, because 99.9% of my jazz albums are, of course, acoustic. So it was easy peasy there. Milt Jackson I picked, an opus to jazz. Really, this is a Void release, but it is a really great bebop album with Milt Jackson from the Modern Jazz Quartet, and you also have Kenny Clark, also from the Modern Jazz Quartet, on drums, and Frank West on flute and tenor sax. This is a really great jazz album, highly recommended. In the summer of 69, an album from 1969. I picked this, Norman Greenbaum, Spirit in the Sky. And this title is, of course, the song that Norman Greenbaum is mostly connected with. Maybe his only hit, but it is a really great song that many of you might remember also from Doctor and the Medics, and their version from 1986. But this was a risk taker, I remember. I wanted to have, because I felt like I wanted to have this song, and I got it for 10 cents maybe, or something like that. But it turned out to be a whole better album than I could expect it. It was actually a really good album. So I was surprised with how good this album actually was. So from 1969, Norman Greenbaum, Spirit in the Sky. The Perfect Summer Bud, which is a record that is perfect from start to finish. There are actually some of those in my little bag of my best albums ever. One of them is this, Nick Kershaw, and his 80s classic album, The Riddle, that is childhood memories. I listened to this a lot when I was a child, and I listened to it afterwards also. This is really, I know that every song in and out, backwards and forwards. It is a fantastic album with no weak songs whatsoever. I really love this song. This kind of almost poetic, but also thoughtful lyrics, and really smart melodies. Great 80s sound, British 80s sound. So Nick Kershaw, The Riddle, a fantastic album. Top 3 of the best albums ever. I could have picked Susanna off there also, but I wanted some change, of course. Summer of Love, what record are you in love with at the moment? Problem with getting new records is all the time is that you don't have that much time to listen to many of the records more than once or maybe twice. But the record that I'm really fascinated with right now is this one, and I might call it that it's a record that I'm in love with at the moment. Adrian Rollini and the Goofus 5. I showed this in my latest vinyl CD update, I think. Adrian Rollini played bass saxophone, but he also played Goofus, which also goes by the more correct name sousaphone, but it's called Goofus. It's like miniature saxophone that sounds more like harmonica, a blend between harmonica and accordion, kind of like the play saxophone that you had when you were a kid. But I'm so fascinated by this because of the interesting choice of instrument that they have here. They also play kazoo here. So it's a very interesting album when it comes to instrument-wise, and it's really great swinging early jazz from 1924-25. Really fascinated by this album and the fantasy and imagination they have in this. Summer of Love recommend another channel. I recommend James Griffith, British YouTuber that has been doing videos now for many years and talks a whole lot about British music of power pop, new wave, and so on. Really, really great knowledge when it comes to music, and he's very interesting to listen to. So check him out, James Griffith. Summer of Love recommend an album that you think everyone will enjoy. That puts a little pressure that everyone will enjoy. I think that is impossible, but many will enjoy, I guess. Correct is. I picked this one, Marshall Crenshaw and Field Day from 1983. Marshall Crenshaw is an artist that I've been discovering maybe a little bit late. But when I finally discovered him through this album for real, and it is a really great album with some really great pop songs. Really great pop album, power pop album with some powerful sound produced by Steve Lillywhite. Really great pop album, Marshall Crenshaw and Field Day. We're all going on a summer's holiday, and a record that you grab while you're on holiday. I picked a record that I picked when I was in Gothenburg, 2017, I think it was. There I bought a record that was a little bit of a risk take, because my interest for Genesis normally is the 80s and forward. And this was from 1980, so it was the oldest Genesis I've bought. So it was a little bit risk taking, but I felt like I got it for $1 because it was a little bit water damage, but it was a really great album, Duke, which actually is recorded in Stockholm, in Sweden, actually, and really great album with a lot of great that stands a little bit in the middle of Genesis from their 70s past and the Genesis that would be in the 80s, the more commercial Genesis. So it stands a little bit in the middle. The most overshadowed album. I don't know if this is the most overshadowed album, but I picked this one because I feel like it is an overshadowed album. And it's overshadowed by two albums that also is fantastic albums. For many years I considered I Am and All in All Earth, Wind and Fire's best albums ever. that was until I found this album, and I actually had many said that this is their best album, might be their best album, and I felt like, no, it can't compete with All in All, and I am. And I had to finally, as much as I love these albums, I have to crawl out with waving a white flag and said, okay, you were right, this was maybe their best album. But it is actually, because the hits were on All in All and I Am, this is actually a little bit overshadowed, even though I find it now their best album. That's The Way of the World from 1975. An extremely funky album. And it also might be overshadowed because of the strange publicity. It was meant to be in a part of a movie, which Earth, Wind & Fire played themselves in. But Earth, Wind & Fire got cold feet and realized that this might have not been the best idea. So we released the album before the movie. So this wouldn't be totally be dragged down in the mud with the movie. It didn't receive the publicity from as a soundtrack, but it is a fantastic, great, amazingly funky album, but a bit overshadowed by the more famous and the more hit-filled albums of All in All and I Am. So that was my take on Summer Vinyl Tag 2025, created by Martin the Martian Vinyl. I hope that you have enjoyed this and that you will continue having a nice continuing of the summer, what's left of it. Until next time, I hope that every one of you have a really nice time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. Take care and so long.